Welcome back, everybody, to a Young Review in Sports. My name is James Irvin, and with the recent Carson Wentz trade, yes, we got to do a Philadelphia Eagles mock draft now because it's changed a little bit. Was quarterback still an option for them? Yes. Is it a bigger need for them now? Yes. But the Philadelphia Eagles need a lot, and I think their number one need is wide receiver. Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Jamar Chase, all three very viable options to be your number one receiver because you're losing Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey. Those were your two best wide receiver options. Who is left for their wide receiver core? Nobody. So whoever your quarterback is next season, whether it's Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, whoever you draft, or a free agent you bring in, Cam Newton maybe, whoever it is needs to have weapons to throw to. Those guys are all very good weapons. Another guy who can be a very big weapon is Kyle Pitts. He is not your typical tight end. He's kind of like Travis Kelce, where you can go up and make big plays. A corner cannot size up against him. A typical cornerback cannot go up against him. A middle linebacker also is not fast enough to keep up with Kyle Pitts. Safety, unless you find some really big safety, I don't know who would be able to cover Kyle Pitts. If you're going a weapon, I absolutely love Kyle Pitts. He can also play tight end, work on his block, coach up his blocking a little bit. He can be a great weapon for you, also be a great blocking just because of his size. And they're going to need tight end. Zach Ertz is gone, okay? Zach Ertz is going to be gone. This Philadelphia Eagles team is going to look completely different this year. Get Kyle Pitts. He's a great weapon. He can be a good blocker. That'd be a great pick for the Philadelphia Eagles. The more I talk myself into the Kyle Pitts pick all the time. All right, another need for them is cornerback. Yeah, Patrick Surtain out of Alabama. Great boundary corner. Can make really good plays. And Caleb Farley, Oklahoma State. Good man coverage. Can't really play that much zone, but we've talked about both those corners before. They need some secondary help. That's why I think safety will also be a big need. Lost Malcolm Jenkins. So you got Trayvon Moehrig, who makes plays with the football. Is sometimes a little bit too aggressive when making tackles, which can cause him to miss. Cause him to miss tackles sometimes. But a good thing about the safety is he can go out and make plays in the run game and is not afraid to tackle somebody. So he's just going right in, okay? He just, no thought about it, just goes right in. And yes, sometimes he misses the tackles, but it's good that he is aggressive, wanting to make the tackles. Then you got Jevon Holland, who I think could be a great pick for the Philadelphia Eagles. Not in the first round, I don't think, but top of the second round, absolutely. Versatile player, can play in almost any coverage, any package you want him to play. Great, can play in any scheme. I think that puts him at one of maybe the top 8. I would still probably take Trayvon Moehrig just because of his ball hawk abilities. But the fact that Jevon Holland can play in any scheme, put him anywhere, he'll work. That is huge for his draft stock. I think it's going to boost. I think that makes him at least an early second-round pick to, who knows, maybe the Philadelphia Eagles. I think safety has got to be a thing, though, that you got to address because losing Malcolm Jenkins, that secondary was bad 2 years ago. It's bad now. So I think corner, safety, can't go wrong with that. I wouldn't take safety top of the first round. I would probably take it late second round, or not late second, early second round, probably Jevon Holland or Trayvon Moehrig. But again, corner, Patrick Surtain, Caleb Farley, absolutely you take one of those. And I think another option is quarterback. What we saw from Jalen Hurts, I don't think it was enough. It was a good sample size, but we got to see more of it. Again, chucked right in the middle of the season. I think he could potentially be the guy with the new head coach, Nick Sirianni. But if the quarterback is there, Trey Lance, there's a lot of reports of Trey Lance. They like him a lot. He'd be a project quarterback. He'd be the guy to sit behind Hurts, which I don't think is probably the best guy to sit behind. I know he's just going to be a second-year player. Also got Justin Fields. I like that pick a lot. He can move around. He's got a strong arm. There are concerns that he does not scan the field enough, but that's easy coaching. You can very easily coach that up with the right coach. Also, I think Zach Wilson. Look, if Zach Wilson is on the board at 7, that would probably be the only quarterback I would take over any of these players. I think there's so many more needs. I think you can probably work with Jalen Hurts for a few years, just see what you got there. But if Jalen Hurts is in it, I think the next year's draft, I'd absolutely address quarterback. Or maybe go get a free agent quarterback. Who knows? They're planning on to bring in competition. They like Trey Lance a lot. I say if the quarterback there at 7 or 6 is Zach Wilson, that is the one you have to take. I wouldn't take Justin Fields there. I definitely wouldn't take Trey Lance there. If Zach Wilson's there, that's the one you take. Otherwise, you can get other needs. You can get maybe a quarterback at the top of the second round. But like Mac Jones or Kyle Trask, I think there's just greater needs on the field than quarterback. You did draft Jalen Hurts last year. There's a good free agent quarterback class. Easily. Yes, that's easily what you got to do, okay? You have Jalen Hurts for a reason. You'd want to pick him. You drafted him for a reason. So I don't think you're taking a quarterback there unless it is Zach Wilson. I'm very high on Zach Wilson, number 2 quarterback in the class. Of course, behind Trevor Lawrence, who is the clear-cut number 1 overall pick. So don't really need to mock him anywhere but Jacksonville, in my opinion. But without further ado, let's get right into the very first mock draft. Well, we are put here in an interesting situation on our first mock draft. Of course, using the Draft Network, link in description if you want to make your own mock draft. So, there's Ja'Marr Chase, who was outplayed Justin Jefferson in college. And Justin Jefferson was a stud in the NFL this year. Also, Kyle Pitts. Which one do I take? I'm going to take Ja'Marr Chase. Here's why. He outplayed Justin Jefferson. He's a true cut number 1 wide receiver. He's my wide receiver 1B, I think, or 1A. It doesn't really matter. It's between Smith and Chase. I think Ja'Marr Chase is going to be a stud in the NFL. I think that's too good to pass on. If Ja'Marr Chase was off the board like he usually is in some of these mock drafts, then absolutely the pick there is Kyle Pitts. It's Ja'Marr Chase right there. Clear-cut number 1 wide receiver. Can be an absolute stud and boost any quarterback. Let's get into the second mock draft. In the second mock draft, Ja'Marr Chase is off the board. Best wide receiver as available is Devontae Smith. Caleb Farley-Surtain on the board. You could go offensive line. The offensive line was terrible. Didn't even talk about that. But yeah, it's a need. Eagles have a lot of needs. I'm going Kyle Pitts. With the loss of Zach Ertz, Kyle Pitts is the ultimate weapon. Corners can't cover him. Linebackers can't keep up with him. And you need a really tall safety just to guard him. Kyle Pitts can beat anyone deep. He can beat anyone with his sides. And he can be a good blocker just because of his sides. I like Kyle Pitts a lot. I wasn't that high on him. The more I watched him film, more I've talked myself up. I'm raising my draft stock on Kyle Pitts. And I'm taking him right there to the Philadelphia Eagles. Mock draft number 3. Alrighty, so here in mock draft number 3, we have Jalen Waddle off the board. Zach Wilson. On the board left is Justin Fields. Justin Fields. And I'm taking him. I'm taking Justin Fields, okay? Here's why. We don't know what Jalen Hurts has. You give Jalen Hurts a year, and then he's gone. Justin Fields can come in, immediately learn the system. You can coach up his scanning ability. That's your quarterback of the future. That absolutely needs to happen. If Justin Fields lasts there, you're taking Justin Fields. Sit him for a year, or at least it helps him make Jalen Hurts better, because if Jalen Hurts comes out and plays like an MVP, well, then what are you going to do? You're screwed. Pretty much. It's a big risk scenario. Big risk, high reward. I like the Justin Fields pick there a lot. I think he'd probably be better than the Panthers. I like Fields a lot. I think he can be a good player. Let's get into mock draft number 4, probably the final mock draft. Mock draft, hopefully. So, Kyle Pitts, Jalen Waddle, Caleb Farley, Patrick Surtain, Sean Slater, best players on the board. Also, Trey Lance. They could take Trey Lance. There's lots of reports of it. For the video's sake, if this was real life, I'm taking Kyle Pitts right here. For the video's sake, since we've already taken him, I'm going to take Patrick Surtain, my number 1 corner in the class. Plays great boundary. Secondary needs a lot of help. Yeah, it just does. Okay, the secondary's been bad. Darius Slay is good. Patrick Surtain can be a great number 2 corner behind him, and then that secondary would be pretty much locked down. It's got to get some safety help back there, and then you'd be pretty much good on the secondary, even though Slay is getting older. But this Philadelphia Eagles team needs a lot, and with Dak Prescott coming back, it's not going to be much of the NFC least anymore, especially with the football team coming competitive. And who knows, the Giants were almost in the playoffs last year, although they were 6-10. But that's just the NFC least for you. But I do think the Eagles need a lot. It's going to be a little bit of a rebuild, but you hopefully can get 2 first-round picks next year, which would help a lot. You're going to have another second or third round pick this year, and at least another second round pick. So you're going to be very good. Whether you're going to have a lot of young players, a lot of draft stocks. It's going to be a little bit of a rebuild. Sorry, Eagles fans, though. You just won the Super Bowl. But it's going to be a little bit of a rebuild. I think all these players, though, you're taking. I think if Kyle Pitts is there, you're absolutely taking him. A great weapon. Is going to be a stud in the NFL. I think maybe one of the best tight ends we've ever. I mean, he's just an ultimate weapon. You can't stop him. Again, secondary, you need help. Again, second round, take a safety right there. And then, of course, wide receiver. Eagles been needing wide receiver for years. Like with the Packers, at least they have Devontae Adams. With the Eagles, they don't have anybody. And that's kind of really, I think, where Carson Wentz started to show his struggles. But that has been the mock draft. Mock draft support, guys, has been crazy. Thank you guys a lot for it. And, of course, thank you for listening.